Hello, hello, good people. Hello, and welcome back to another car conversation or Make America Think Again with Vaughn, depending upon whether or not you can see my voice or you can hear my face, whichever platform you are on. Welcome to you all, and thank you for subscribing. As a matter of fact, share a link. Go to YouTube if you're just one of the people who listen to the podcast and just share at least one episode with a friend or a family member. I have a goal in mind for the numbers by the end of this month, and I'm really trying to get there. Okay, so some things that you might have missed this past week because the Charlie Kirk information really overshadowed a lot, but there were some good things that happened this week, and I want to make sure that you know about it. So this week, California passed a bill to restrict law enforcement from wearing masks, from wearing neck gaiters, etc. The only things, there's only two groups that in this bill that are allowed to wear masks. That would be SWAT, and if they're undercover, and they can only, if I remember correctly, they can only wear the medical surgical mask. And then another part of this bill, what's another bill, is that they also have to wear identification. They also have to provide identification. So those were two bills that were passed this week in the state of California. To my knowledge, they have been forwarded or passed on to Governor Newsom, and I believe he has about a month to sign them. And I think the only glitch is that they're still working on is because this would include federal officers as well. And so that's the piece that they're working on. Okay, so also there is a plan to create a state NIH. So basically, the scientific research, medical research that was killed by the Felon 47 administration, California, actually, this is a Western initiative. So California, Washington State, Hawaii, and Oregon together are trying to bring their own specific two divisions, like their own version of the NIH and their own version of the CDC. So we can continue the scientific research. So there will be a bill that will be put on the ballot in 2026 in regards to the NIH, because the funding for that will have to come from bond money, I believe, that the state of California generates. So we have to vote on that as citizens. And then you also have blue states that are creating, I'm sorry, let me slow down. So you have the NIH and you have the CDC. And so those two would be funded by bond funds. And so they have to be voted on, and that will be on California's ballot in 2026. Now, Washington State, Oregon, Hawaii, I don't know exactly how they're going to handle making that happen in those states, but all four states are working together. So what we would be missing coming from the federal government, our states will be handling, and that's some really good news. It's very important for us to know, like, what communicable diseases are running rampant, in our area across the country. Also, part of this bond funding would go back to universities to do their scientific research as well. So that, again, great news. Then you also have blue states. Illinois I have here, I have Massachusetts down. So they're going ahead and purchasing COVID vaccinations, and then I believe also vaccinations that all children would need before they enter school, measles, smallpox, mumps, all the regular vaccinations that people would get. They are going ahead and purchasing those for their states so that they will have those vaccinations on hand for children to continue. When you start school, you have to get certain vaccinations. When you turn 12, you have to get certain vaccinations. They are going to continue that in these blue states. And as a matter of fact, Massachusetts is requiring insurance companies to cover it. So that is something that the state of Massachusetts is working on right now as well. And the last bit of good news that I want to share with you is that this week, Again, probably got overshadowed by the Kirk information. But this week, there was a tranche of Epstein emails that were discovered or unleashed by Bloomberg. So in these emails, now I've only seen a little bit of it, but I will tell you a couple of things that are discussed. And the crazy thing to me is, the wildest thing to me is that these people were so confident that they were not going to get caught or receive any consequences or repercussions for their actions, that they put so much on paper or in writing. It's unbelievable. So some of the emails exchanges between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell discussed, like, should we get prostitute, or should we go for, or do you want a younger aged girl? That's in an email. There's an email where there's a dad who is trying to sell his daughter to Epstein. I can't remember the amount of money, but it was only like $10,000-$15,000. There are also emails that discuss or have spreadsheets where Epstein had given gifts to like friends, a lot of the victims, to Maxwell. These emails include the spreadsheets. So you have like diamond necklaces that were given to Maxwell. You have a $75,000 car that was gifted to Alan Dershowitz. Now, Alan Dershowitz was on his Epstein's dream team back in Florida in the 2008-2009 case, right? So he helped him get that sweetheart deal. So you have to think he got legal fees, and on top of the legal fees, he received a $75,000 Lexus. Okay, that's in these emails. Apparently, you know, Ghislaine, in this last interview that she did that got her sent to the little Club Fed in Texas, she talked about, you know, or tried to make herself come off as just an employee of Epstein. In these emails, they were discussing IVF. Like, she was trying to have this man's baby, it would appear. They were planning to have a child together. So there's that. Gifts to the victims included things like paying their rent, computers, gift cards, paying for massage courses, paying for English as a second language courses. There's a lot in these emails, folks. So the emails, go to Bloomberg, read the article, read the information that was released. And yeah, these are some good things that happened this week. We did get some bills that were passed that are ready for governors to sign, that are going to help us in blue states. If you're in a red state and you want to still, you know, stay healthy and stay alive, you might consider moving to a blue state. I'm just saying. And then we have some more Epstein information that was released. I am still waiting for the survivors list. I think that's where that's the only moment here in the near future that we might see, I don't know, the factual information about who all was, you know, involved. And let me say this before I let you go. So the ambassador to, I want to say, England, he was in the birthday book. He was in Epstein's birthday book. He alluded to, or he talked about being on the island. And, you know, remember I told you they all talked in kind of some weird code. And he would say that, you know, in his post, there were pictures, and his what he put in the book was, he was alluding to Epstein's special friends. And he was saying, you know, Epstein might come and go, but the special friends were still there, and how he was in the company of these special friends. Well, since that birthday book was released, he got booted. He got kicked out. He is no longer England's ambassador, this dude. So you see, this was years ago, but these people can receive some consequences. And that's why it's imperative that we find out who all was connected then, who's still connected now, who participated, who was complicit. We need all that information. All right, so as we are updated, I will bring you more. Talk to you later.